What's good, YouTube? This your boy EJ the DJ, and I'm back with another video. And the offseason is here. I mean, the Denver Nuggets, they're celebrating their championship right now, but the offseason is here. Trade rumors are here, and this guy that I'm talking about today, he is no stranger into being in trade rumors. And that guy I'm talking about is John Collins. Now, like I said, John Collins is not a stranger to being in trade talks. It seems like John Collins has been in trade talks since he's been on the Atlanta Hawks. Reportedly, it seems like two teams are interested in John Collins. One team is the Brooklyn Nets. The other team is the Dallas Mavericks. Now, for some time now, it seems like the Dallas Mavericks have been interested in John Collins. Now, I've seen the trade that they said that the Mavericks and Hawks have talked about, but the trade talks haven't progressed. Trade that's being reported that they've talked about is the swapping of Davis Bertans and the number 15th overall pick in this year's draft for John Collins and the number 10th pick. Now, the Hawks have the 15th pick and the Mavericks have the 10th pick. So that means if they were to go through this trade, the Hawks would get Davis Bertans and the 10th overall pick, and the Dallas Mavericks will be getting John Collins in the 15th overall pick. Now, Davis Bertans has $33 million over 2 years left on his deal, and John Collins has 3 years at $26 million per season that is left on his contract. Now, do I think that this is like equal trade? I'm not sure. I think John Collins is a better player than Davis Bertans is. I think Davis Bertans might have got this contract a couple years ago. He was definitely a stretch four that could shoot. He was averaging 15 points a game, shooting 42% behind the arc. But I don't know. Is this I'm not sure. We know John Collins has struggled this past season. This was his worst season of his career that he's averaged since his rookie season. You know, John Collins has been a 20-10 guy over the past few years, but it seems like this year just wasn't his year. His play definitely declined this season. Now, should the Atlanta Hawks do this trade for John Collins? Yeah, moving on 5 spots into the draft will be huge, and also moving on from John Collins, it will shred money, and then we get the Hawks more flexibility for the offseason. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure. Y'all let me know in the comments, would you pull this trigger? I know it's a lot of Hawks fans that will pull this trigger. They were like, man, you can get a top 10 pick for John Collins. You might as well go on and pull it. He's not that guy. Like, we could probably draft someone at the 10th spot at the power forward position, but I don't know. I mean, Davis Bertans, yeah, he could probably stretch the floor, but is he going to bring something that John Collins bring? Now, people might ask, what does John Collins bring? But, I mean, if John Collins can get back to that 20-10 guy this season, he's definitely, needs to be on this team. But if this is the start of his declined play, then I wouldn't mind for the Hawks to move on. I've also said this. I wouldn't mind if the Atlanta Hawks were to trade JC. I feel like JC may need a change of scenery other than Atlanta, being that he has been in trade talks for so long. And I've seen interviews that John Collins have said that, yeah, he's been in trade rumors, but he wants to be here in Atlanta. And, I mean, yeah, I get it. He probably does want to be here in Atlanta, but being that the organization has put his name is always in trade talks, and his play decline, and I'm wondering if his play decline, just not knowing the uncertainty if you're going to be a part of this team, has probably weighed on him a lot, especially this past season, and maybe that change of scenery is needed for John Collins. Also, let's talk about what would the Brooklyn Nets trade look like. Reports haven't came out and said what the trade will probably look like with the Atlanta Hawks and Brooklyn Nets, but I wonder, will it be John Collins for Ben Simmons? I mean, that kind of makes sense that they will be trying to get rid of Ben Simmons, but I know the Hawks were trying to go after Ben Simmons at one point before he went to Brooklyn, but the 76ers wanted to give us Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris for, I think it was John Collins and someone else, I can't remember, but they turned down the trade because they didn't want to take on Tobias and Ben Simmons' contract. But I'm not sure if the Atlanta Hawks would take on Ben Simmons for John Collins. I would much rather go into the season with a healthy John Collins than not knowing what you're going to get from Ben Simmons. Like I said, Ben Simmons we don't know. He hasn't been the same since the series when we played them in the playoffs. He hasn't been the same, and he hasn't been healthy. So trading John Collins for Ben Simmons, I just can't see the Atlanta Hawks doing that. that, especially you don't know what would Ben Simmons' availability be during the season. I would much rather have John Collins. John Collins has been, pretty much healthy in his career so far, and he's been able to play a lot of games. With Ben Simmons, you just don't know. So I would rather have John Collins try to get back to being that 20 and 10 guy than trying to hope for Ben Simmons to, gain his confidence back. Ben Simmons was a great player. He just didn't shoot the ball. And like I said, we don't know mentally, physically what happened to him after that series when we played the 76ers. But let me know in the comments, do you think the Atlanta Hawks should make any of these trades with the Brooklyn Nets? If it's somebody else from the Brooklyn Nets you think that we can get for John Collins other than Ben Simmons, let me know in the comments. Also, man, thank y'all just for y'all support of watching my videos. Make sure y'all continue to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. My videos and content will continue to get better. I'm working on a couple things now, so it's definitely going to get better. So make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe. This your boy EJ the DJ. I'm out.